Pledge, the flag is right there. We'll call this meeting in order. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I want to remind everyone this meeting is a meeting of the school board in public for the purpose of conducting school corporation's business. It's not considered a public community meeting. There will be time for the public to participate as indicated on the agenda. Now we have considerations of agenda additions or deletions. Addition is number 20. Entertain a motion to add to new business 20. That is donations. So moved.
Right.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries to add. Now we'll move to invitations to members of the audience to speak to specific items on the agenda. Seeing none, communications, we have none. And we will move right to reports, the superintendent's report.
I'm going to turn it right over to LIS.
Yeah, so thank you for coming to Lakeland Intermediate School. We have a few different students presenting today on the stuff that's on the agenda. We did add the robotics there. We had a weekend competition that they'll kind of speak to, but that's all I have to say. So I'll let my students take it away.
Hi, my name is Drake Straley.
Wait.
Hi, my name is Drake Straley, and I'm from Miss Ellis class, and I hope you guys have fun learning about the intermediates.
Hi, I'm Carlos, and I'm in 6th grade English class, and I'm very excited. A really smart start is a great to get ready for the day. Instead of being very tired and not ready to learn, you have this ready, pumped up to learn. An activity we like is something that a class or a group does that is the same thing like a chat or a song like a class. An activity to disengage stress is breathing. Ways we breathe is slow breath, moving breath, certain breath, big breath. I like big breaths, please don't breathe in big breaths. When I say breathe in, squeeze your hands. When I say breathe out, let go. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3, breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. An activity to connect could be something small but not too big. These activities can make some of these big, like a high five, fist bump, hug, wave, handshake, or thumbs up.
A wishful is when we put our hands on our hearts and we wish the people that are gone or having a rough time in their life. So if you would like to join me, will you please do a wishful with me? Put your hand on your heart and breathe in and send it away. A commitment is when, like Mr. Brand, he says, my job is to
Keep you safe.
My job is to keep you safe, and we say our job is to be safe, and that's a commitment that we do every day.
One school notebook was a book of wonderful life. Everyone got the same copy of this book, and this book was about a gorilla named Ivan who's in a wall captive in cage.
The kickoff for the one and only Ivan was in the lunchroom, and when we had it, there was this girl that was up there, and she was talking about Ivan, and she had pictures of Ivan too, and Ivan even came out, and everyone started laughing at him.
One school won't look at home. One school won't look at home. We had a calendar. This calendar has the pages that we have to take and a complete side to complete it. We would make sure to read these pages to not be repetitive. This board right here was filled with activities like pictures and costumes. These activities were done and put on the board. I did these activities, but it was very quick to see these activities. Once we had questions. These questions were on reading slips over set via mail or on school. These questions were about items. So, for example, if the question says, "What was Ivan thinking of doing in the page?" you would answer this question using race. Race is restating the question, reenacting the question, and citing text evidence, and explaining what it means. We could answer these questions with family members like parents, siblings, cousins, or even friends. I answered these questions with my little sister, and we would put these questions in a box, and this box would be wrapped in week to within Ivan.
Family night was when the people that wanted to come would come, and they would get to either do a Ivan enclosure to see how strong it was to hold the books. And then another one was where you could make a Ivan face mask. And you could get cotton candy, and even Miss Ellen was doing that cotton candy. or you could do the book fair. My favorite part was the musical chairs. Musical chairs was when there would be music playing, and when it would stop, you sit on a chair, whatever number you had. If you had that number and they called it, you'd go up and get a free book.
How many did you get?
5.
One school, one book next year. I'm a sixth grader, so this is probably my first and last year reading one school, one book. But I'm very excited to see all the new second graders coming to school and experiencing one school, one book. These are exactly the books that could be used next year, and possibly even other books. But we don't know, so we're gonna have to wait.
Do you have any questions for these two presenters?
No.
You guys want to go home, you're welcome to go home. Robotics, if you want to come show what you got, make sure you introduce yourselves too.
Talk about why we're presenting. Okay, introduce yourself first.
This is fun.
You gotta yell.
This is fun. This is very Lakeland. And we want to look at things from the struggle. So the box we made was supposed to be drop shot. So when I looked inside, there was a bunch of little tools. believe that it didn't happen. Right when we start knees and drop shot, decided to squish the top. And then I ran the Carlos and I had to stop floating it to make the line. Up, down, down. We got the trophy by competing in the game consists of 2 players and 4 players to box. We switch every 30 seconds and there's 4 switches and you pass. The strategy you want to do is get all 4 switches down first and then pass, but you have to make it inside of the 4 switches to get more points than just passing.
It's a lot like what sport? What do you have to get in this basketball? So they're actually shooting a foam ball. There's how many balls? 3. There's 2 on the board and, yeah, there you go. So you have to clear 4 switches, and then what happens after the 4 switches? So they call it rapid flow, and then what can you do? Get as many in the target? Yep.
What's special about your body?
So that, like 1 ball here equals 2, and this guy can also hold 2 balls. But if you score 2 balls at a time,
It works kind of like an escalator. It'll suck the ball up, and then it'll push it up, and then it'll put it in the actual target.
so what we do is in the final team is that it's not the 2 teams, 2, so we want to find our next team before we go forward and just put strawberry. So once we got the field, we could just play without this and we do strawberry.
So you guys gonna stay on the 22nd? I think we're gonna do a walk celebration like the high school athletes.
Walk of fame.
That'll be pretty fun.
Something to say about the trophy? Like, do you have anything to say about that trophy? How many trophies did they hand out at the competition?
So one was still, another one was this one, which we got, and the other one was for elementary.
And
The other
one,
one was for the other two, which was
and we just want to say that we've made it to state twice. This is the first post-COVID state competition that Lakeland has ever participated in or will participate in, and this is the first trophy we have won. We only have first and second automatically qualify. Out of how many teams did they beat? 26. So they were the top 16, and then they were the top 2. They were in second place at the end of the range for the finals. So that is a big, big deal for this program. So we're really proud of them.
We would like to invite you to stay. You don't have to come, but we would appreciate it.
And then tomorrow, what's happening tomorrow?
Competition.
We have a in-house competition tomorrow night after school. So
And how many different design bots do we have?
5.
We have 5 or 6 different designs of bots that they have made that you will be able to see if you come tomorrow night. Starts at 4 o'clock.
As big as this.
Thank you.
I'll speak real quick. So just want to give you a Life Wise update. Teresa Faust approached me at the beginning of the year about starting the Life Wise Academy program. After going through some hurdles, they went through some hurdles. They did launch the program. So we have currently 9 third graders. It's only open to third graders, but they started on March 4th. Every Tuesday, they come in, pick up the kids, take them on a bus to the Church of Christ. Our kids get a sack lunch, so they're gone from the beginning of lunch until the end of recess, and then they get dropped back off for their next class. So they're not missing any class. The students are able to go and learn some Bible study. They're looking at maybe branching out to other grades in the future, but that would probably be next year thing. If you need more information, Teresa Faust would be the contact for that.
Thank you.
all right, Lakeland by the number. Give your report on where we are at.
Good work, progress.
As of yesterday, you're at 1,440 students. That is down 63 from the end of the year in 2024. It's down, I believe, 6 students from last year. That is all I.
Okay, I don't have, anything since this says vice president's report.
Sorry.
But we'll go to the treasurer's report first.
Okay, so. No one else knows. Oops. To a few hundred people. All right, so, at the end of February, we are at 17% of the year completed. In the education fund, we have collected $2,276,436.15, or 17.21% of our revenue, expected revenue. And the operations fund, we have collected $214,346.52, or 3% of our revenue budget. For expenditures, we have spent $2,442,820.76, or 18.5% of the revenue budget, or 15.94% of our expenditure budget. And in the operations fund, we have spent $1,322,360.68, 18.3% of our revenue budget, and 16% of the expenditure budget for the year. So, yeah, we're kind of pretty much on track, I think, for the year at this point. Like I said, we had those 3 days in January, so that's kind of thrown things off a bit. But that's where we're at. Any questions or?
Go ahead.
I just wondered why the operations fund percent collected is only 3%.
Oh.
Since we're at 17% through the year.
Good question. The operations fund is only funded twice a year through property tax collections. So we don't receive those funds. Well, it's funded through other smaller things too. We do a transfer every month from the education fund. So that's where that 3% so far has really come from, is from the transfers. But our big collections are with property taxes we get those in June and December. So you'll see a very large gap there until those months come, and then we catch back up. So.
Any other questions for Jameson? Okay. Thank you. We have no unfinished business. New business, one is an appropriation transfer.
Talk about that, or you want me to?
Oh,
Yes,
I was like, Richard,
that's
sorry.
from the rainy, that's from the rainy
Thank
day
you.
fund.
I didn't have anything in front of me. I'm going, what? All right. So we have an expenditure to complete the bleacher project in the gym. It's the lower bleachers, and we need approximately $325,000 to complete that project. We're going to use. They already appropriated $300,000 in the rainy day fund to do that, but I do need an additional. I asked for $50,000 just to cover kind of the bases, just in case it does go a little bit. But we should be under that $50,000 extra. So I'm just asking for a transfer or additional appropriations of $50,000 from the rainy day fund.
Entertain a motion to approve. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? As those of you that are here have seen the bleachers in the competition gym, the lower section is cracked. Many of the seats had a split right down the middle, so unfortunate the way they filled up, but
We are not getting plastics.
they look really good when we bought them. But it's honestly a safety issue, so I'll be glad to get them fixed. So we have, go ahead.
I just noticed something that we'll finish this first, and then I have to bring that up. I just noticed this development. I didn't put her
Okay.
My fault.
All right, well, yeah, we'll finish this. So we do have a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? All in favor? Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, Ms.
Isabel Bowman is here, and she is working on her Eagle Scout, correct? And she has a little presentation about her Eagle Scout project.
Hi, so my name is Isabel Woman, and I am currently working on the Eagle Scout route for as all sadly know, school shootings is a hard issue. So my project is going to lower the risk of that at high school. I assessed I noticed that I was looking to say that parents were options. One of which is trauma kits, which are packed with anything that child needs for any injuries that they can find they The second thing was Nightlock, which is a door locking system, which is all I have personal experiences with broken door lock. They're really fast, but knowing how hard to do lock with is others. At the high school, it was easy. And then the other option was for us to, because my brother's not doing so we're hoping that if you can get like night lock systems, there's a company called Lazy Solutions, and they have started working with ideas of flexible bulletproof grips and hard solving to address those function of it. And then we can let out all those things in that room.
So is it the 100%? Is it corn, full out, and sorry about the few words.
Our expected cost is $20,000, but as the project I walk on this.
So, what's your ask of the board at this time? So what are you thinking?
I would need to approve this.
Yeah, I mean.
Sorry to interrupt. We've had a lot of talks.
Okay.
One of the things with that we talked about with our project is to make sure it's a safety upgrade without incurring a lot of future costs for the corporation.
Sure.
That what she would be raised because she's going to graduate and she's going to go on to great things. So I want to make sure that the project itself does not turn into a larger budgeting issue that we have later on. So we're watching for that as she develops it.
Okay.
So like there was a monitoring system, is that everything?
Yeah, there's
It
some
has
of the, I know some of the things on there we do have in place,
Yeah.
but not everything else.
Right. One of them is like an ongoing subscription fee that'll be, kind of talk about how that'll be very futuristic when it's not in the initial lock. Thanks, let me jump on the presentation.
So how would you go about your fundraising?
So for the fundraising, the first is for trauma kits, is with companies, hospitals, doctors' offices, clinics, and actual centers. And then for Comcast, there are a lot of companies that are very enthusiastic about fundraise for equal projects. So I've been on my grants, small fundraisers, catch up with these.
Yeah, I seen the trauma kits, I think that's a great place to start, for sure. I think Parkview, I would hope we wanna help out with some of that, for sure.
I don't think we need a motion at this point. I just think that she had to present her project, and this way, if I know that you guys are okay with her continuing, we'll just let her continue with her project.
I think it's a great thing.
Yes.
Love the ideas, a lot of good stuff, for sure. Thank you. Enjoy your papers back. Item 2 is common school loan. I think Casey's gonna talk
I'll
about
have
this.
that. All right, so we use the common school loan to purchase devices for students. So we have a 4-year rotation.
Yeah, 4-year rotation. So we purchase 3 grade levels of devices traditionally each year, and then those devices stay in rotation for 4 years. So we're always constantly replacing a portion of the fleet, not the whole fleet.
So the common school loan, we are allowed $100 per student, which doesn't buy the whole device, but it helps offset the cost for us. So we have 1,446 students district-wide, so we are applying for a loan for $144,600 for this loan. So it is paid back through the debt service. So does increase taxes slightly, but we're talking like a penny or two is all it does. So it's not a huge burden on the taxpayers to help pay for this. So I'm asking for approval and for us to submit the application for this loan.
And I believe I read that this would be the last, not the last common school loan, but the last part of the transition in Chromebooks. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're gonna push ahead with that. So this life cycle rotation is a little bit different than usual, but everybody will be on Chromebooks at one point. So, with the exception of kindergarten will come in the fall, but they don't use their devices in the same way as the rest of the grade levels. So it's a little bit easier to transition them mid-year versus, having to wait a full year.
How are the iPads that are left for the kindergarten class?
The kindergarten class, those iPads do not leave with the student. And so we usually replace those with ones that we've collected from the other grade levels as we transition them to new devices. So they stay in rotation for another 1 to 2 years post that 4-year. They usually hold up pretty well because the kindergarten students don't usually take them. I mean, we have maybe 2 to 3% breakage on the kindergarten fleet on an app throughout the average year, which is insanely low compared to the rest. So,
Thank you. Entertained motion to approve common school loan.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Number 3 is the Title I Teacher Position Edition.
So, as time has gone on, our Title I grants have increased in part because we do provide free breakfast, free lunch, and free textbooks to families, so they don't fill out some of the forms that help keep our funding up. We continuously push those forms out, and we ask people to do it, but there's no way that we can force people. We are not allowed by law to force people to fill those out. So our funding in Title I has decreased over time by about $200,000. So the funding is no longer able to support all of the positions that we have had in Title I. So we feel that the best way to do this is to restructure our Title I programs at the elementary level. And we would like to hire teachers to be interventionists for Title I. I believe we would have 3 teachers at the primary school, and we would have 2 at the intermediate school to do reading intervention and math intervention with students.
I would entertain a motion to approve this. So moved. Have a motion. Do I have a second? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Discussion.
Would be 3 for the primary and 2 for the intermediate.
Is there any more discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. 4 is the conscious discipline donation.
We had a community member who would like to remain anonymous, donate some money towards our conscious discipline family night. So we needed the board to accept that donation.
Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. And 5, policy update, 9272.
92.7. It is our policy that has to do with whether or not students who are not enrolled in a public or accredited school can participate in our extracurricular activities. It was kind of a confusing policy, and we haven't been following it the way it should have been followed. It starts out by saying our current policy says that no students that are not attending our school basically can participate in our events or in our extracurriculars, so play for our teams, join our clubs, that kind of thing. And then the next part of that policy says that they can enroll in our school district for 1 or more classes each day. We had interpreted that, even though it's 2 separate sections, as if they enroll in 1 class, they may participate in our extracurricular activities, which isn't what our policy actually said, because the first line was no students enrolled in non-public schools. So this changes that policy so that students are able to enroll for a half day of enrollment with us, and then they can be approved to participate in our extracurricular activities as long as they are enrolled for a half day. It's just trying to clarify it so that it actually makes sense to people.
Yeah, so it actually kind of gives us a little more leeway, because before it was no. And it's my understanding that our neighboring districts don't allow any homeschool kids to participate in extracurriculars as well. So, I'd entertain a motion to approve and update this policy. We have a motion? We have a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Okay, we're moving on to 6. Donations.
Yes, we have a donation to Paws and Claws. The items that are listed are located right now at Lima Brighton. They are not necessary to the building to function as a school, and they are not currently needed elsewhere at Lakeland. So we would like to help out the Paws and Claws bookstore with some of their needs.
Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Shelley with the second.
Thank you.
All in favor? Abstain? Motion carries. Sue is the abstain. Now we'll move on to the next donation.
Same song, second verse. This one is to the farm, so same thing. Items located at Lima Brighton that are not needed for it to function as a school. We do not need them elsewhere in Lakeland, so we would like to donate them to the farm. We get several students from the farm, so I think it is an honor to be able to help them out.
Entertain a motion. Motion and a second. Shelley second. All in favor? Abstained? Motion carries. Got that? All right. 8, Community Foundation donation.
Okay, so now we're gonna flip the tables and we're going to accept the donation again. This is an annual grant that's called the Lakeland Fund that the Community Foundation sends us a check each year for. So this year, I've designated that check will go to supplies for a summer tech camp that Abby Harris-Burrell will be doing for our students this summer.
Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Okay, latchkey provision.
So it's been a few years since we analyzed our latchkey rates, and looking at our reports, we're about $2,000 away from breaking even. That's all we want to do with that program, is to be able to get the supplies and the snacks and to pay the staff. We don't make money on it, so I am asking that we do a slight increase less than $1, it'd be 90-cent increase for families, that would move them at $4 per hour per student. This would not raise the included grades average.
Entertain a motion to approve. Second. Got a motion, Rob second, is there any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. 10, this is the proposal.
Yes, so you have been given copies of the proposal from All Knox Soda Meter out of Goshen and Superior Rigging and Erecting here at the range, and they are going to work together as the contract managers at risk for the Hall of Fame project. We have placed this project out to bid. We sent it directly to, I believe, 4 or 5 different companies, and this was the only bid that we received back, and it was within the budget that we had asked for. And work that Jared Wyman has done for us in the past on our concession stands with our press box has been great, so we are looking forward to working with them on this project. They really like the idea that we want to keep as much of the woodwork and the work in general local as possible on this project.
So I entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion, Kara second, all in favor? Motion carries. 11,
That is the approval of junior high ECA purchase authorization. This is giving permission for the athletic department to use their ECA funds. This is something that we have discovered the state board of accounts requires that give authorization to spend money to all of our ECA groups. So this is for athletics.
entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion carries. 12, another donation.
This is a donation, and this one's coming from Mr. Shackow, so I don't know anything about that donation.
Is this the art club one? I thought they got added.
It did,
It
and
is
I
our
was
club.
confused apparently and
Oh,
added it twice. But it
Oh,
didn't
so it's
include the intermediate, so
So we don't need any action on this?
we can strike this.
Okay.
okay.
My apologies.
Unless there's a donation for them.
I thought you were getting your check.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, we'll move on to 13. This is the radio quote.
Sam, you're up on that one.
Yep. So last month, was it last month? I don't know. I'm losing track of time here. This is for the handheld radios. So that is the last portion of the radio project overhaul. So these are radios for administrators and other users in district. And any questions on that?
Will they be provided to teachers as well, or just?
Partially, yes. That'll be coming as we phase out the ones that the administrators currently have. Those can be repurposed for internal two-way communications. Once we get all the radios back and do inventory and see what we have, we'll probably have to order some additional ones to fill in for that. But that is the long-term plan, is to have additional radios available for internal communication. So I believe I mentioned it previously with the radio project, but we have a 5 license pack that we can use for radio-to-radio communication. And that's kind of the express plan with some of the older radios, is to use those for that. So they can be used on field trips. They can be used anywhere. They don't have to be physically here. So as our students go and explore, we have proper communication methods out and about as well.
What's the time frame on that?
Radios, well, as soon as I approve them, we should have them within a week. The plan is to collect all the radios over spring break and reprogram them. They're going to be doing tower work tentatively over spring break, weather permitting, of course. It's Indiana, so who knows? If it's real windy, they won't be able to climb. But the tentative timeline is we're going to be doing all of this over spring break. So then we'll be running both systems temporarily until everything is ready to go, and then we'll cut over sometime towards the end of April. So
Entertain a motion to approve 13 radio quote. So moved.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, motion carries. 14. This is a termination.
Yes, I'm asking for your approval on this termination. This is in accordance with our progressive discipline policy.
The board got that. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Kara second. All in favor, motion carried. 15, employment.
Under employment, you have several coaches. We have a couple of new substitute teachers to welcome on board. So you're asking for
Entertain a motion for 15. We have motion from Sue. Second from Derek. All in favor, motion carries. We now have transfers. 16.
So as part of the Title I reorganization, we have several paraprofessionals that work for us in the Title I program, and they have been transferred into positions currently as substitute teachers, although I believe one has taken a different position that she's transferring into. So they do still have positions with us for next year. We wanted to give them plenty of notice so that they could look into any openings that we had as they occurred. So these transfers.
Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, motion carried unanimously. 17, volunteer.
We have one volunteer for you to approve, Jerry Holmes. He has been a box truck driver for the show choir before, and we are short a driver for one of the show choir events. He has agreed to jump on board again for us.
Entertain a motion. Shelley with the second. All in favor, motion carries. Resignations.
We do have some resignations. Ben Brown will be retiring at the end of the year. He technically doesn't qualify for retirement as it's defined in our handbook, but that's the way he's doing it. We also have Dale Gerhardt, who is moving on to his next destination, and we wish him well. We wish them all well. Mr. Varner is also on here, a band teacher at the junior senior high, and he will be, I believe, working on his side businesses that will become his main business. Wish him luck.
Entertain a motion to approve these resignations.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, motion carries. We are at 19. That's our consent agenda. Entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, motion carries. All right. We still have the addition, number 20. Those are the,
Yes, we have donations to each one of our art clubs at LIS at the junior high level and the senior high level from the LaGrange County Arts, so we would ask that you approve those donations.
you have anything to add?
Their biggest seller, I believe, that we can verify otherwise, was the picture of me. That's all I have for the art club. So I'm happy to do my part in modeling for that.
That was a great job on you.
Weird how that works. Super happy. They're updating those cards as well. So like where the funds came from for that came from the sale of the artwork. So they were going to redo them. Love how it looks uptown. Love showing our kids work out like that. So I'm glad to be able to do that consistently for years to come as well.
Excellent. Thank you. Entertain a motion to take this donation. We got a motion and a second, you got those? All in favor? Motion carries. All right. Excellent. We have no unfinished business today, so we'll move to public comments. Persons wishing to make the board aware of suggestions, ideas, and/or comments may address the board at this time. Comments which involve personnel or students must be discussed in private.
Okay, so just a thank you, and I don't know if it goes to the board or Dr. Blaze or all of the above for the $25 we get to spend once again on Lakers swag, and that's great. Is that?
It was the board and the corporation as well.
It's a joint.
There's a joint effort.
Because I have lots of gold framed.
Excellent.
So thank you.
Appreciate that. Is there anyone else?
Why are you looking at me?
I
think a lot of I do. I did. I think a lot of my concerns were made for voices last meeting. I did want to just follow up to see what has been where we are with things. If you guys have proceeded anything further. Yes.
Well, I'll just touch on one quick thing and I'll let Dr. Blaze, if she has anything to say. We met today in executive session to discuss school safety and how we can improve how things are going in each building. We met with administrators and teachers. That was one effort that we've made at this time. Is there anything else?
Got 2 more coming up.
Yeah, of course, we have 2 more of those listening tours with our buildings.
We have done some further special education training with both special education staff and with our gen ed staff. We have had several conversations with the special ed cooperative about the services that they provide and how we can streamline those better as far as particular students that we address them, obviously. So we are working on all those things.
The numbers that were in the slideshow about how many students we lost, was that a month?
Yeah, that was the month.
And what was the number for that?
We lost 6.
6 a month. And then, I just had, just because I'm genuinely curious, why aren't children in the school able to come to Lakeland?
Because we don't get any, what's called ADM, we don't get any money for them, so we pay all the coaches, and we pay for all the equipment, and we pay for all the uniforms and all the things that go into that, so.
What about the other things, like, even if it's just not, to my understanding, like, until they reach the middle school, like, all the sports, like, softball per se, it's not, doesn't have anything to do with it, is that correct?
So if it's a LaGrange County program, they can participate in those. If it's a Lakeland program, they can.
So what would be some things that, like, under that age group that?
So for instance, the robotics club here at LIS, we don't accept schoolers or people that would be going to the unaccredited school into that. So that would be an example. We used to do math clubs and some things like that, K6, when we had those, that would be that. When we do events that are sponsored by our PTO or within our building, those events are not open to the public, they are open to our students.
So it's just a money thing, it's not really any, it's not a liability or anything
Right.
like that, it's just strictly.
I mean, we wouldn't, anybody that's in our building is covered under our liability policy, so,
So even
which
if they
we
live
pay
in
for.
LaGrange County, they're still paying taxes to contribute to the school, and still not able to.
Correct.
Right back to the question we were saying, but
Anything else? Anyone? All right. Well, at this time, is there any board member comments?
I just want to thank, everybody who showed up for the round 1 of the listening tour, I really appreciate your insight, got a good list going, and sit down and cross
Anyone else? Okay. The calendar review, our next meeting will be April 9th at the primary at 6:30. We will have an executive session at 5 p.m. Yep. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a motion, Shelley second. All in favor?